In the beginning of episode 1, Nishi is shown to us by two kids who were running in the open field. The girl gives the boy a locket and then says Josh is in love or forever in love. Keep the locket with you and I will keep the key with me. We will always keep this thing treasured. After that, when we meet in the future, we will take out the thing that we have kept in this locket. Then we will get married and the boy who is there also says yes. Episode 1 The Promise. After that, we see a boy who is cooking. After completing his cooking, he says breakfast is ready. After saying this, many people start looking at him from the eyes of the jungle. And while shouting, he says good morning young master. After that, we know the name of our main character, which is Aikiju and Raku. And everyone starts eating breakfast. After that, everyone starts shouting. No one can beat our little master's cooking. He is the best chef. After hearing this, Aikiju starts talking. I have told you many times not to call me little master. And I have also told you that I will never join your Yakuza gang. After hearing this, the gang members start talking. No way. And then Aikiju says that I want to graduate from a top university and do a civil job. After hearing this, the gang members react a lot. And the Aikiju starts crying. And then there is a person's entry. After that, the person says that you know how to get the energy in the mind of the gang members at the beginning of the day. And while watching that, all the gang members wish him good morning boss. And I will tell you that this man is Aikiju's dad. After that, Aikiju's dad says, hey Raku, in the coming few days I want to talk to you very seriously. So don't forget. After hearing this, Aikiju gets confused. And from there, the scene gets cut. And we are shown Aikiju who was looking very upset. And the Aikiju was standing outside his school. And seeing his gang members, the rest of the kids are quietly leaving. They bow down. After that, they all wish Aikiju to have a good day. And the Aikiju starts going. One of them is quite serious. He says that we have seen some unknown gang members from some time. So Ichija says that there are some unknown gang members, but only then they start speaking, so be careful. And all of them said this in such a strange way that Ichija starts thinking that now I just have to get out of this family and live a peaceful life. I will hit the top in school and then go to the top university. After that, he takes out a locket that he had worn and it is the same locket that was shown in the beginning of the episode. Then Ichija starts spending time by moving the locket and says that I have faced a lot of problems in my life. Then we see a girl running away and she was thinking that now I am late. After that, the girl crosses a wall by gymnastic and Ichija stands on that wall. And then Ichija notices the girl who was jumping from the wall and after that, she comes into slow motion and she is hit by Ichija. And her face is destroyed and we see the locket that falls somewhere. And then the girl runs away saying sorry. And then this thought starts to come to an end. And then a few moments later, a scene is shown where she has entered her class. And seeing that, her friend is there. And her name is Shu. And Shu says that, hey Raku, what happened to you? And then another girl says that, how did you feel? Are you okay? And this girl's name is Onodera. And then this thing starts to come to an end. That I am absolutely fine. Then they tell the whole thing. She tells me how a girl comes running towards the wall and breaks her leg. And then Onodera starts to put bandages on this thing. And then she starts to refuse. But Onodera says that. What if it gets infected? And then Onodera puts bandages on this thing. And then she looks at Onodera and she is very happy. And then Shu says that you are enjoying. And then she starts to refuse. That keep your mouth shut. And then we see the scene after a while. Where this thing was sitting in a very strange face. And then she was thinking that. Today was very bad for me. But I spoke to Onodera. It is not that bad. Then her teacher says that. There is going to be a new student in her class today. And then she calls the new student inside. And we see the new student who is the same girl. Who has spoiled this thing. Then she tells her name. And her name is Kariti Sakitu. And she is from the US. And seeing her, all the kids in the class get bored. So she is very cute. After that her teacher says that. Wherever you like, you sit there. And then she starts to go. And then we see the thing that was still in Onodera's mind. And as soon as she looks at the thing in front of her, she screams. And then she says that you are the same. But then she says that you are the same female barbarian. After hearing this, the other teachers and the other kids are all shocked. So she says that what do you mean by female barbarian? So she says that in the backyard of the school. You didn't hit me with a flying. Did you remember? So she says that I asked you for forgiveness. And I was a little bit shocked by you. So there is no need to pull this thing. So she says that what do you mean by a little? And some of you are very much fighting. And then he calls her a monkey. After hearing this, Chidok looks at her and looks at her classmates. They get very surprised and get shy. And their teacher sits Chidok next to her and says that I am full of you, Ichija. After hearing this, they both make a very strange face. And then Chidok says that no matter what happens, don't come near me. After hearing this, Ichija says that this is my line. After that, Ichija starts thinking that I don't know what this girl's problem is. And then he checks his locket which is not there. After seeing this, he gets very scared. And then he remembers how Chidok got stuck in the morning. And then his locket broke down. Then he looks at Chidok with a strange look. So Chidok also looks at him. And then a scene is shown where Chidok says that why do I have to find such a thing? So Ichija says that he has lost because of your Nikki. And then he says that what is the matter? So Ichija says that nothing. I have lost my one important thing. So Ichija starts saying that can I help you? So Ichija says that there is no need. Because it is his fault that he has lost my thing. So then he should help him. So then Chidok says that how does that locket look? So Ichija tells him that he makes a lock on it. And he also shows it as a pattern. After seeing that, he doesn't have any idea what is happening. So Ichija says that have you seen it somewhere? So then he refuses to do it. He says that forgive me but I haven't seen it anywhere. After that Chidok says that instead of finding the locket, you promise me that you will never talk to me in school. Because I don't want anyone to think that a boy like you is my friend. And after hearing all this, Ichija is getting very angry. But then his teacher comes over and says that I have forgotten Chidok and Ichija. You will look after the school's pet house from now on. And then we see the school's pet house scene where they are fighting again. And we see the Japanese class scene where Chido is thinking that Japanese class is boring and after class ends Chido is going but then he comes back and he hits the notebook and says that these are the notes of Japanese class. So Chido says after thinking for a while that I told you not to talk to me and then he starts going. And seeing this Chido gets very angry and then we see him in the gym class where Chido is doing a very amazing gymnastics and Chido and Shu are sitting on the side and then Shu says that when did you and Chido get so close? Then Chido starts saying that when are you talking to me? So Shu says that you always stay with him and even after class today you were with him, you guys are very friendly. So Chido doesn't say anything and Chido starts seeing and Chido is doing gymnastics. Then Ichiro says that the more I see him, the more he looks like a monkey. But then he starts to feel dumb and then Chido takes a drum and goes to sleep. And then the scene is done and Ichiro and Onodera are shown. So Onodera says that you are not hurt again. So Ichiro says yes and then Chido starts to sell his body. So Onodera says that you still talk to Chido very well. And even after classes you gave him your notes. I think this is very good. That you are kind to everyone. After hearing this, Ichiro gets very happy. After that Onodera asks that the locket you were looking for, where did you buy it from? So Ichiro says that I didn't buy that locket. Someone gave it to me. About 10 years ago and I had promised him. And the Onodera blushes after hearing the promise word. And then the scene is cut from there and we are shown to Ichiro who was looking for his locket. And Chido gets angry with him. After that Chido starts saying that there is no sign of the locket here. He is going to make a lot of trouble. But Ichiro says that in such a strange time, why did you come here after being transferred? So Chido says that there is no reason. Because of my parents' work. So Ichiro says that what does your parents do? So Chido starts saying that it doesn't matter. And why should I tell you the story of my life? And then Chido goes to another place to find it. After that the scene is cut from there and we are shown the scene of the next day. Where Chido comes in front of me. So Ichiro says that you are so late. So Chido starts screaming. I can't do this anymore. So Ichiro says that what is your problem? So Cheeto starts saying that you know what my classmates told me. And then we are told that his classmates are thinking that Ichiro and Cheeto are dating. And every day they go on a date after school and talk a lot. So Cheeto starts saying that who will be happy to talk to you. I am just a little better because I am helping you in finding that ridiculous thing. He gets very shocked and then we see Anudara who finished her council meeting and then she is going to help Ichija. From dad we see Ichija and Cheeto and then Ichija says that it was your fault that I lost her, so Cheeto says that are you a kid who can't sleep because of your dad's death, even though this locket was given by that girl who liked you but so many years ago, you have to waste time on it, this is so useless. And then Anudara comes, I can feel that that girl must have forgotten about you, that she had given you a locket, this is so lame and useless. And after listening to all this Ichija remembers that girl's memory and then she says keep your mouth shut, if you feel like this then you don't need to look for her, leave from here. And then after seeing each other's face, Cheeto goes away from there. And then the next day where Ichija is looking for the locket and then Cheeto sees it and then she goes away. And then she remembers the things Cheeto said and then gets very angry and then she comes running and then Anudara says that Cheeto has called you and then Ichija goes with Anudara and then asks her what she has done. And then she sees Ichija and then Ichija says that that person is Cheeto and then she throws something. And then she goes and then she looks at Ichija and then she falls and then she starts saying what is the problem of that girl, and then she sees Ichija and then she goes to her locket and then we get to know that the person who threw the Cheeto was Ichija's locket. And then Anudara starts saying that is this your locket, and then Ichija says yes, but what was she doing? And then Anudara says that Cheeto was looking for the locket and then we are shown Anudara's memories and then Anudara starts crying. She also said that she doesn't want to tell you. Then Richio sees a letter with her locket. So she reads it and writes that I have done your work. So don't talk to me, and even gave me a hug. And after reading this, Richio says that it is quite annoying. Then for a while she gets calm and Richio says that I think you should forget about a promise. So she says no, of course not. Richio, you have promised that you might remember your promise. And if you break your promise, it will feel so bad. Even though it was a promise between two kids 10 years ago. Then the other person starts apologizing that she said something too much. So Richio says that it's okay. Anyway, thank you, I am feeling quite fresh. You are right, whether I meet that girl or not. But this promise is quite important for me. And I will always treasure this locket. And thank you very much for coming. Then things go away and the owner takes out a key and says that he couldn't ask him back. I am such a fool. And then we see the scene of Ichija's house where Ichija has reached his house. So his dad says, Raku, you are finally here. Then Ichija says, what happened to you suddenly? So Ichija's dad says, I had told you a few days ago that I want to talk to you very seriously. So Ichija says, yes, I had said it. Then Ichija's dad says, as you know, our situation with our rival gang is not good. War can still start. So Ichija says that if the war starts, there will be a lot of problems. Then Ichija's dad says that, and I found out that the boss of the rival gang is my old friend. And his daughter. I have also heard that his daughter is of your age. So if you have no objection, then can you date him? Yes, this will be all fake. Don't take too much tension. And the gang members, if they hear that you are dating them, they will not fight anymore. Then Ichija starts saying, wait a minute, are you kidding me? It can never be that I should do something like this. So Ichija's dad starts saying, that means you have found a girlfriend. So Ichija refuses. So Ichija's dad says that there are many lives here, it is on the side. But the Ichija doesn't say anything. So Ichija's dad says, come on, come inside. So Ichija starts saying, is he here? Then Ichija thinks that I think I don't have any other choice.